Let's talk about some things I will not do or will no longer do in my 30s and things I'm going to do or do differently in my 30s. If you are new here, this is Judith. Welcome to this channel. So today I want to talk about some things that I will do or do differently in my 30s, and also want to talk about some things that I will not do or will no longer do in my 30s. So stay to watch this video. So I have 3 things on my list that I'm no longer doing in my 30s or will not do in my 30s. And I also have 3 things in my list that I'm going to do or do differently in my 30s. So on the list, number 1 thing I'm never going to be doing in my 30s is I'm never going to ignore my instincts. Sometimes when my instinct tells me something about certain situations, I notice that I love to ignore my instinct. Yes, that's one thing that I realized about myself. I act more on my emotions than reality or what I feel. I tend to think about how would this person feel or how is this going to turn out other than listening to my instinct. So, every time I have done that, I end up realizing that my instincts were right all along. And for that, I'm never going to ignore my instinct in my 30s. That is one thing I'm never going to do in my 30s, ignoring my instincts. I'm cutting that out. And number 2 on the list is I will not neglect my peace to make others feel comfortable. I'm never going to do that. I think I come first. I only realized this in my 30s. While in my 20s, I made a lot of mistakes that gave people a wrong impression about me. How do I put it? I always act on my emotions. I think about how others will feel other than looking out for myself. And I think now that I'm in my 30s, I'm going to look out more for myself. I'm not going to be acting based on my emotions of how I feel about others or how others are going to feel about my reaction about situations. I'm going to put myself first because I noticed that in my 20s, I kind of suppressed my feelings. I suppress how I feel about situations a lot just to make others feel comfortable, especially when people are crossing boundaries or even, let's say, when people are crossing boundaries in my life. I tend to keep quiet. I tend to just ignore. I ignored a lot, and it gave a lot of people wrong impressions about me. So I feel like different people have different opinions about me. Yes, that is normal about life. That is quite normal, but some of these opinions that they have, I am really not. The reason for that is I didn't know how to, or I didn't see the reason to, I don't know how to put it, but I suppressed my emotions, I suppressed how I really felt about situations just to make other people feel comfortable. When they are doing things that I'm not really okay with, instead of questioning immediately, sometimes I just feel in me that what's the need for all this? After all, this is going to pass. Me and this person, we're not living together, or we don't see each other every day, or this is a one-time thing. Like, I took a lot of, I don't know how to put it, in my 20s. And I noticed that when I started to change and look out more for myself, I read the room and I saw that people were having different opinions about me. Yes, one thing about life is when you're always concerned about people, everybody is going to be perfect, everybody is going to act all okay with you. But the moment you try to change and start to look more out for yourself and putting others less or second before you, a lot of new topics are going to arise, a lot of new a lot of things are going to change. Some people will no longer be interested in you, while some will say, oh, you've been pretending all along, you've been pretending, you've just been acting, you're not that nice, you are just, and it's not actually true. You are nice, and you felt that one way of being nice is by making other people feel comfortable or happy. But that is wrong. Making others happy at your own expense is bad. It's sin against yourself. So in my 30s, I'm never going to make anyone feel comfortable at the expense of my peace. I'm going to look out for myself. I'm going to put myself first. I'm going to make sure that whatever I'm doing or giving out or accepting from anyone is not making me feel any certain type of way, or it's not something I'm going to regret later. Yes, that's number 2 on the list. And number 3 on the list, I'm going to compare my journey with someone else's journey. I'm not that kind of person, and I don't see myself becoming that kind of person. I'm someone who have always lived my life in my lane. I am more focused on my life, yes. I'm never going to compare my journey with someone else's journey. Whether you're doing better than me, oh my God, I don't think I'm ever going to compare myself. Because this life is a personal race. After all, we all came differently to this world. We have our own different journey. We have our own different books. Our books are not reading the same thing, the same time. If you are in your time and everything is going well for you, fine. Even if I haven't gotten what you have gotten, I don't think I'm ever going to compare myself. I'm too precious for that. I'm going to live my life at my pace and focus on myself and my dreams. I'm never going to compare myself to anyone. I've never done that, and I'm never going to do that. Living life at your pace is one thing that keeps you focused. But by the time you begin to jump from your purpose and say, oh, see my mate, this person has gone far. See what they have achieved. See how far they have gone. And I'm just here, I'm just stuck, I'm just cynical. You start complaining, you will be pushed away from your purpose. And then you wouldn't even know what to do with your life. So I don't think I'm someone who is ever going to be in that category of people. I don't think so. And one more thing I'm going to add for things that I'll never do. I'm never going to beat myself, or how do I put it? I'm never going to regret or pressure myself, or there's the word I wanted to use for this. I'm never going to get angry at myself for my lapses or things that I didn't realize on time. I don't think I'm ever going to get angry at myself. So after talking about the things I will never do, let's talk about some of the things I'll do differently or will start doing in my 30s. Number 1 on the list is I'm going to live with gratitude. Now that I'm in my 30s, I'm going to live with extra kind of gratitude. I've not been ungrateful, yes, but I think sometimes we don't express our gratitude enough. Like sometimes we just wake up in the morning and begin our day without even going on our knees and thank God. I'm going to live with so much gratitude. I've seen life, I've seen a lot of things that made me question myself, and oh my God. And it brought me to the fact that I need to live more with gratitude. What that's so big now. I hold it so big. Like, so many people are going through a lot. In fact, I cannot begin to count. I don't want anyone to be emotional watching this video, but some things that I have seen, I changed my mindset about life. Like as I said, I've never been ungrateful to God or to anyone, but I'm going to live with so much gratitude this year on a different level. Yes, that's one thing I choose to do differently in my 30s. Number 2 on the list, I'm going to take my relationship with God to another level. I grew up in a Christian family. I've served God all my life, but I have not served God the way I should really serve Him, especially in my 20s. At a point in my life, in my 20s, I thought that serving God means just going to church, praying, reading your Bible once in a while, but it's deeper than that. I realized that if you are really serving God, you should be in a relationship with Him. Until you stop feeling comfortable when you don't read your Bible, that, oh, I've not read my Bible in days, until you find yourself in that situation, until you find your life in that space. That means you're not really in a relationship with God, you're just a church goer. For me, Yes, yes. So I lived my life up to a point whereby I began to feel guilty. If I've not read my Bible in days, if I've not read my Bible in days, like I don't feel okay. I don't feel okay. Like I feel like a part of me is missing or going away, just like that. But I remember in my 20s, I don't even read my Bible. I don't read my Bible. I just go to church, and I thought life was. I thought serving God was just all about going to church and all of that. So in my 30s, I'm going to take my relationship with God to another level. I'm going to pray differently. I'm going to study Him. I'm going to meditate on His Word. I'm going to do a lot of things that pertains to God. I'm going to put God first. Number 3 on the list is I'm going to invest more on meaningful relationships in this stage of my life. Why did I say that? Honestly, I'm not someone who has a lot of friends. I have just few people in my circle, life generally. I'm going to prioritize people who add positive value to my life. I'm going to prioritize people who understand me, people who support me genuinely, and I'm not just going to crowd my life with people who are just interested in what they can get from me. Honestly, not as if I have anything to give, but at some point I have some certain things that people can get from me. That is normal about life. But I'm not going to crowd myself with so many people just because I just want to have people, I want to know people, I want to have people around my corner. No, I'm never going to do that. But I'm going to try to create a healthy relationship with people who I'm actually learning something from, people who are interested in me, people who share the same value with me. For example, I started doing this from some time back in my 20s. Yes, it's not a new practice, but I'm going to go deeper in it. Whatever, I'm going to be very selective of the people in my circle. Not everybody deserves to be in your life. If I'm not adding to you, you're not adding to me, that means we aren't meant to be. Yes, we can know people without sharing anything, without adding to each other's life, but I'm going to try to maintain meaningful relationships. I'm not just going to welcome anyone into my life. Apart from certain mistakes that I made over the years, I ended up regretting. I don't want to put myself in that situation again. Not everyone who tells you, oh, I love you so much, you're so nice, you're so beautiful, you're so soft-spoken, I feel so happy being around you. Not everyone really means it. Sometimes it's coming from a deceptive section of the heart. So I'm going to watch out for the people I keep around myself or people I go around. I've been hurt many times, honestly. I'm that kind of person that if I am in a relationship, in a friendship, let's put it like that, if we are doing friendship, I tend to go extra mile. I'm that kind of person that loves to share my secrets with people I feel are close to me. And I realize that some of these people are just serpents who just want to know so much about you, and then when they are done, they tend to use it to look down on you. So I'm not giving anyone that space in my life anymore. That was in my 20s, but never happening in my 30s. So I'm only going to keep healthy relationships, meaningful relationships, especially with people who are drawing me closer to my path, like to God. If you are not someone that loves God, I don't see why I should be having a relationship with you, except I want to win you over. So if I'm not winning you over, you are not winning me more over, then we're not supposed to be in a relationship. So I don't know if this video makes any sense, but I'd like to end it here. Today is my birthday, June 16th, and oh my God, I just think I've reflected, like, and God has been so faithful to me. This is not a testimony class or whatever, but me turning this age just brought me to the realization that God actually loves me. He loves all His children. That is quite true. But some of us, we actually doubt the love of God. Yes, that's very common with most believers, most children of God. And I've found myself in that situation before. I passed through some situations in my life, some hurdles in my life that made me felt at the point in my life that, oh, God is not with me anymore. He might be angry with me. But look at me. Looking at where I have reached in my life today, my heart only says gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude. That's all that is reading or singing in my mind. And I'm so grateful to God. I'm so grateful to God. Let's end the video here. If you have watched up to this point, thank you very much. In fact, I don't know if I've just been ranting because this is not a planned, it's not a planned video. I just came up with the idea this evening to make a video just to state some things that just been going on in my head. I didn't know how to place most of these things, but I don't know if I explained all of this well. I've done my best. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, help my channel grow. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. I love you all so much for the support so far. Have a great experience. Clock it!